click this video because you are stuck in that phase where you do not know how to get yourself to stop breaking your rules. You continue to tell yourself you're going to lock in. You continue to tell yourself that this is the last time you're going to do it. You keep telling yourself that this is the time you're going to be disciplined, but then you do it again, time and time and time again. You continue to make yourself feel that unbearable pain of breaking your rules and sabotaging yourself time and time again. You click this video because you want to solve that, but what I'm not going to do here is tell you that I'm going to be like everyone else, show you an SVJ, show you my 100K in payouts, and show you all of these fancy Miami penthouses and all of this bullshit. It's not what I'm here to do. What I'm here to do is give you a bare bones presentation on what took me from this point you see right here where my account was literally overdrawn and I was blowing accounts at the exact same time. Look at the dates. To now having almost $50,000. I have crossed the $50,000 in payouts. It's crazy to say that. I have passed $50,000 in payouts. You can see this verified on my Instagram if you want proof of that. I'm going to show you bare bones a presentation that is going to show you exactly how I went from that point where you are in to the point where you want to be. I've done it myself and I systemized it so that you can literally copy and paste it for yourself. Now, everyone says that they understand trading psychology. They were once where you are, but one day it just changed because they finally locked in. You hear this from everyone. Every single guru who is in Miami, who is selling you their trading strategy, they all tell you, one day it just clicked for me, right? But where in that gap is the solution to what you are struggling with? How would you feel if you clicked on this video and I just told you, don't worry, one day it's going to happen, you're just going to lock in? It's so bullshit. Where every single guru bridges the gap from where you are right now as a struggling trader to the profitable one is by following their strategy. Oh, you just need to trade OTE. Buy my course. Oh, you just need to trade fibs. Buy my course. Oh, you just need to trade inversions. Oh, buy my course. But if we were to rephrase what that actually is, you are essentially being told that in order to get from California to Texas, you need a car, but they're selling you a car that has no fucking engine inside of it. Yes, the car gets you there. I'm not denying that. The strategy is important. You need a strategy with an edge if you want to make money over the long term. But is the car the thing that moves the tires? No, it's the engine. You need your engine to be primed and it needs to be put in the right, everything needs to be put in the right place before you can expect any part of the car to do what else it's supposed to do, which is get you from California to Texas and move the tires, right? What you have to do is follow some sort of process that allows you to actually bridge that gap because you are probably here. I need to lock in. Motherfuckers are so obnoxious, bro. I need to lock in. 2 trades a day and I'm done. This month, I'm not breaking my rules at all. Then you blow another $1,000 while all being sat there just completely disappointed in yourself because you truthfully cannot figure out why it is so hard for you to do such a simple thing. And this is exactly what I went through. I specifically remember nights where I would literally lay next to the love of my life, my girlfriend who I want to marry, and I would promise her, I'm done breaking my rules. Listen, baby. Within 2 months, I'm going to get a max payout. I'm going to take you to Greece. We're going to live our best life. We're going to have so much freedom. You just need to stick with me through this because I know I just broke my trading rules and I just blew a set of 5 accounts. But like this time I'm locking in. I did it again. And 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 I felt so much despair. There were literally moments I would blow my accounts, hear the noise of me blowing my account, the order filled noise, knowing that I did that to myself again. And before the trade even filled to stop me out and blow my account, I would stand up from my computer, go into the bathroom, sit on the bathtub, and put my hands on my eyes because I just felt so much excruciating pain in my stomach because I could not figure out how to break this fucking cycle. And everyone just told me, you just have to lock in, dude, you're just not disciplined. Bullshit. If this is where you are, what you need to understand is that you've literally been trying to solve a problem that is in front of you without understanding what that problem even fucking is. That is your problem. The way to bridge that gap isn't by skipping the gap and taking yourself from point A to B. It's implementing No, I just said that wrong. The way to bridge that gap isn't by skipping the gap, implementing a strategy, and then telling yourself that you're gonna be disciplined and just stick to it. The gap is bridged by understanding what took someone from, like I said, where I started a fucking moment ago, from A, who is in your position right now where you're feeling all of those emotions and that bullshit, to the point where you want to be and asking why it happened. Now, instead of you having to do this, I've just created a complete 3-step process that will essentially help you make this transformation in yourself. Someone walked out. But I'm transparent on these videos. I'm not here to edit these videos, make them all fancy, and do all this bullshit. If you can't stick around and watch this entire video without edits and without authenticity, I don't care. I'm here to give you value, brother. So, I don't know if I read this right, but you see it on screen, you understand my point, right? This is where I came up with that 3-step process, which is process state trading. And it looks something like this. You have awareness, trust, and then the rewire. Now, this is exactly what I took my student Yasin through, which I'll talk a little bit more about him later, but he was unprofitable for 2 years. He had gotten a payout before, but then, actually, no, he didn't get a payout before. He had never gotten a payout before. 2 years, no payouts, breaking his rules, 1 day away from payout, blowing it, doing this cycle that I just explained for so fucking long. He joined what I'm teaching you today. I implemented this for him 1-to-1, and as you can see, it literally changed his life. 3 weeks in to implementing this process that I'm going to give you today in this video, he got his first payout. This is also what got me, as I said, 50K payouts and now, which there's tons of more proof on my Instagram if you need it, if you don't believe me, which is completely fine. I know there's so many people that fake this shit, but like, the shit that's on my Instagram, you can't fake it, so. Pillar 1, awareness. You genuinely cannot fix anything in your life if you are unaware of why it is happening in the first place. The process I run through every single one of my one-on-one students is essentially an entire document that helps them introspect on why they are doing what is happening in their trading. And this is what it looks like. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because obviously it's for my students, but it's important that you have an idea for what questions to run yourself through so that you can actually dig into the root, and that's why I provide this. But everyone wants money. There's no shit. But why, if you know that you can follow your rules and it'll make you money, do you then decide to greed, overtrade, FOMO, and do all of these things that lose you money? Well, there are things in your life that are leading to get you to that point. For me, for example, I turned trading into my entire purpose. Validation, safety, dopamine, all of these things, literally everything came from the charts itself. It was not until I ran through this exact exercise of awareness until I realized every single behavior, which every behavior that I was having was a symptom of a deeper rooted problem, I was experiencing on the charts was down to the sole fact of me relying all of my financial safety onto the charts itself. I tried to combat that entire identity that I had built up from literally like never doing any introspective work whatsoever. I tried to combat that entire identity by just locking it. And now I think you'll understand from me putting that in front of you, you'll understand why it doesn't fucking work. Now, pillar 2 is, just to recap, just so you understand, you need to become aware of why you're doing what you're doing. It's that simple. Run yourself through a bunch of introspection questions. Like, for example, the first one I run through is, when you break your rules, what do you actually do? You need to dig to the root. You need to continue to ask yourself why what you're doing is happening, what's actually happening, and just raise awareness to every single pattern that you have so that you can actually address that. Because you're just completely running blind right now and you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. But there's more to that, so just wait. Pillar 2 is trust. You simply cannot expect your brain to trust the unknown. Trading is by nature already just a complete uphill battle of uncertainty, up and down motions, and just a complete overall roller coaster. So how do you mitigate this and not put so much of this onto your animal brain? Well, you ground yourself to solidified factual data. You collect the data on what you are doing over a long enough period of time to solidify into your subconscious brain that losses are objectively just a part of your system. I made an analogy for this. If you're dating a girl and she gets hungry, so she starts to just bitch at you, how do you react? Well, and if you're a girl, we can make this exact same example for men as well, but it's dependent on how many times it's happened in the past and what tends to happen after. Meaning, you base your emotions in that moment off of the data that you have been presented over a long enough period of time. If you know that she simply just gets hangry and mad when she needs food, you know that it will pass and it's not worth blowing up the relationship over. It's not worth blowing the relationship over if you love her. But if you just met her and you have no past data, you are going to literally think that she's fucking insane and you're just going to leave her, right? It is the same thing with your trading strategy. If you don't know what happens after you lose and you have no trust in the fact that it'll make money even when taking a loss, you'll tie way more meaning onto a loss because you are trying to trust uncertainty. So to recap that pillar, you need something to build your trust off of, which is data over a long enough period of time. You cannot expect your brain to just look into this abyss of nothingness and say, yep, I'm just going to take a loss and, because at the animal part of your brain, like, losing means you're losing resources and safety and all of these things. It means so many things to your actual ego and your the part of your brain that freaks out, that shuts down the amygdala. Like, it is telling so many different things when you lose. So if you have something that you can reground yourself to, it essentially gives you that safety you're looking for even when you take a loss. So that's pillar 2, and that's super important. And as you can see here, I literally have 10 years of historical data. 10 years. I know over a long enough period of time that I win over 10 years. So it's so much easier to actually ground myself to that. But you cannot do any of this without pillar 3, which is rewiring. You cannot simply... Oh, look at us. Look at this fucking badass. Look at this fucking Chad. Pillar 3, rewire. You cannot simply know why you do the things you do and then leave it at that. You have to attack those things at the root on a day-to-day basis to actually rewire that animal part of your brain. And what do I mean? Through the exercise I gave you in pillar 1, you will understand why you do what you do. But through pillar 3, you have to assign a task that you do every single day to attack that why that you have in your brain at a psychological level. This is literally the key to everything. For example, if you are struggling with greed, here's what it would look like. First, you come to that conclusion through pillar 1 of the fact that you're dealing with greed and it's coming from the root cause of wanting to chase the dopamine you got from making the most you ever made. And I dealt with this in specific. That's why I made this example. I hit a 10K month in the past, and then from that point, if I would TP for like $300 across 5 accounts, it didn't scratch that itch for me because I had already done that 10K, so now I wanted 15 and 20K, right? I really hope it's not loud. Insane. It didn't scratch that itch for me. And so I would basically just stretch my TP out and do these stupid things that basically were making it so that I was going against my system because I had this root thing inside of me that I was just chasing that point I was once at, and that was the root cause. So because I had that root fundamental feeling of I need to make more and get to where I was dopamine-wise and euphoria-wise, I stretched out my TP and started to go against my system, and then it would just make me spiral. Psychologically, this is showing a discrepancy for the amount of gratitude that you have in the fact that you literally have a roof over your head and you're clicking a button and you're making money, and it's setting you down a spiral of chasing more and more and more. And that's what the idea of gratitude, or not gratitude, that's what the idea of, what is it? Oh yeah, that's what greed is. It is a psychological discrepancy between you want something but you cannot get it. So, what would the opposite of this root problem be? Showing gratitude. So, boom, what is your solution? Because if you are struggling because you hit a 10K month, and then you hit an 8K month, when you're sitting at that 8K month, now you're feeling like shit because you want to make 12K, so now you trade like a retard, And boom, now you blow your accounts because you weren't supposed to break your rules and you broke your rules, and now your amygdala is firing itself off, and now you just do some dumb shit and you revenge trick, right? It's all down to this one root problem of you're lacking gratitude. $8,000 for clicking a button, and you want more. So showing gratitude attacks that root problem psychologically. Do you see how that ties together? And the foundation all is from pillar 2 of grounding yourself to data. So boom, what's your solution? Every single fucking day, you wake up and you write what you're grateful for, trading and non-trading things included. And I do this every single fucking day before I trade, and I show it through my Instagram stories. So you can see that this works. It grounds me and it allows me to see what I have in my life, and it acts as this grounding technique to give my animal brain that fix that it's seeking for wanting more. Instead of wanting more and trying to aim for more, what can we do is actually bring awareness to the things that we have. Like, I literally am sitting here. I make a living from trading, bro. I don't need $100,000 a month. Of course, I want that, but I don't need that. I literally live off of clicking a button. How insane is that? Most people have to work 50 hours a week, and then they don't even hit that point that I've hit with my trading. I should be grateful for that every single fucking day. And when I make $300 copy traded across 5 accounts, I should have already grounded myself to this thing that I am grateful for, instead of wanting it to be 400 or 500. Do you get how that works? There are a lot of different techniques that you should use, so try to expand your arsenal with this. I personally, because I've worked with so many people one-on-one, I have literally 10 plus techniques that I share with all of my students that attack each and every different root problem. So for example, if you notice you have greed, do what I just said. There's more things you can do for greed, like backing it up with data and showing that over a long enough period of time, you are going to make more money. So greeding makes no sense. You can also have some for FOMO. I have some for FOMO. I have some for overtrading, impatience, all of these different things, boredom, all of these different things. You need techniques that attack all of these at the root, and they give you something on a day-to-day. Another badass. On a day-to-day and a weekly basis, they all attack it at the root. Now, you can either do this on your own, or you can do this with me. I've given you what you need to do the inner work. Plain and simple, this is the solution, right? But there are so many intricacies to trading psychology that make it so individual dependent. For example, my student Yasin, like I just brought up a couple of minutes ago, who went from 0 payouts, struggling for 2 years, blowing accounts 1 day away from payout, 2 years of struggle, to getting his first payout in green every single day after following my system 3 weeks after. You're different than him. The problems that I had to help Yasin with are not the same problems that I had, and they're probably not the same problems that you had. Which is why I'm going to tell you flat out that you will get where you want to be faster by having someone hold your hand and walk you through these things. By having a completely built out system for you that is tailored to your needs and your core problems, I can help you shortcut this entire process of getting from that person A to that person B that we were talking about, where you currently are, person A, to that person of freedom and so much safety and financially just all of the abundance that you want. I can help you shortcut that entire process of going from A to B in half of the time that it would take you on your own, and also half of the money that it would cost you by blowing thousands of more dollars trying to implement this on your own and learn from your own mistakes, because I've already helped people learn through the mistakes that you're struggling with, and I can give you the solution handed to you. So if you want to work together one-on-one with this, where I will literally implement this entire system for you, hands-on together, over a 12-week period, go to the first link in the description and you can book a call to see if you will be a good fit for this, where we can literally work together. I will sit next to you, hold your fucking hand, and implement this entire thing for you, give you the solutions, write out your day-to-day process that you need to follow, hold you accountable through like a one-to-one phone number, like text message, where you can literally text me whenever you need, and I will help you work through every single thing, so that by the end of those 12 weeks, I will get you to where you want to be and help you implement this entire system to transform your psychology so much faster than you ever thought was fucking possible. Otherwise, if you don't want to book a call with me, it's completely fine. You can DM me on Instagram. I have it right there. Or I'll also have it in the description. You can just DM me the word rewire, and I'll ask you a couple questions over DM to see if you'd be a good fit for it as well. But with that all being said, if you implement all of this on your own, you 100% can do this on your own. I'm telling you, this is like the golden secret. Everything I just presented to you will change your fucking life. But if you want to do it faster, link in the description, book a call with me. I'll hop on. I'll just ask you a couple questions. There's no pressure or anything. We'll see if you're a good fit. But with that being said, lock in, baby. Just gave you the fucking golden sauce. I'm telling you, bro. You got this. You fucking got this, bro.